Hey family, are you hungry? Well, let's ring the dinner bell. Welcome to my channel, Ask Me TV. Many of you know that I have done a cookbook called The Dinner Bell. Well, in honor of Cinco de Mayo and because it's Tuesday, you know what we have to make. We have to make some tacos. Now, because I am concerned about not just my 600-pound life, but my 200-pound life, we are going to be making some turkey tacos. So right now, I am browning 1 pound of ground turkey, and of course you can find the recipe for this in our Dinner Bell cookbook. You can also download an e-copy of the cookbook if you cannot wait to get a hard copy. You can go to my website, discoverkcu.org/shop, and download a copy of the book and be eating some tacos tonight. Now, typically, I love to use Lawry's seasoning for tacos. Now, if you cannot find this, because it's very hard to find, I am from Southern California, so this is in every store, but I had to hunt it down here in Atlanta. So if you are unable to get this packet of seasoning, it's okay. You can use any of the others. They're all garbage as far as I'm concerned. But you can also just use a base spice of, you can use chili powder, cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, and seasoning salt and pepper or garlic salt to your taste. I like this because it's the perfect blend. It's got the right amount of spice. Some of the seasonings that people like to use are a little bit too tomatoey for me. I don't really like them, but for me, Lawry's is the thing. So when I first moved here, one of my good friends took me to what he called a taco establishment here in Atlanta. And first of all, let me say, I am a taco snob. So coming from Southern California, I'm completely biased. I had a lot of Hispanic friends who would make me food, so I know what good Mexican food should taste like. And I remember my friend taking me to this taco place here in Atlanta, and I almost threw those tacos at him because they were just flavorless. The tortilla shells were horrible. The meat wasn't seasoned well, and I was really surprised to see a bunch of Hispanic people back there in the kitchen. But of course, if they don't own the business, it's not their fault that, you know, they have to choose whatever recipe they're given. So I told him, you come to my house and I am going to show you what tacos should taste like. And that's exactly what I did. So my friends love my tacos. Now, I also had the misfortune to go and try some tacos elsewhere. I won't tell you the name of the establishment, but they have the nerve to have some fried chicken tacos, and I get the creativity. That would be really cool if they knew what they were doing, but because I have yet to find any place in Atlanta, in Georgia, who makes good tacos, I am stuck with making them myself. So we're just browning 1 pound of ground turkey. I also like to use white corn tortillas, which we're going to fry up in just a minute. I like to shred iceberg lettuce, and I usually use pre-packaged or pre-shredded cheese, but today I was feeling kind of spiffy, so I actually got a block of mild cheddar cheese and did it the old-fashioned way and grated it myself. We're also going to add some salsa, which I made a little bit earlier. You can find the recipe for that in the cookbook as well. And then we're going to top off with some sour cream, some guacamole, if that is your thing. Now, in Southern California, avocados are super easy to find. If you live in San Diego, my goodness, they're practically giving them away because they're so prevalent. But in Atlanta, you can't always find it. So I found a good substitute because avocados, I couldn't find any good ripe avocados, and of course because of the scarcity of groceries right now. So I just bought some Walmart brand guacamole, which is pretty close to the way I make guacamole anyway. And so we're going to do that as well. So our turkey is just about done. And right before it gets completely done, now typically if I were using ground beef, I would drain the fat and then we would add the seasonings and add some water. Well, I'm not going to drain the fat because it's turkey, it's very lean, and it's mostly water, and I want to keep some of those juices in order to create the flavor and the base for the tacos. So I'm just gonna add my taco seasoning. And it's produced a lot of water. And so we're just gonna blend the seasonings in really well. And then what I like to do is I like to take the envelope of the seasoning and just add a little water to it and then put that in the pan. It's almost like it gets all the little flavor out of the packet and into the pan. So we're gonna stir that and make sure the seasonings are well blended. I'm gonna reduce my heat just a little. It's always fun cooking on an electric stove because it's so hard to control the temperatures. I still haven't quite gotten used to it. And while we let this simmer, we're gonna go ahead and cook our tortillas. Now I've just used a little bit of oil to coat my pan because we're not going to, I mean, you can deep fry them just depending on the crispiness that you choose. My friends like them they like them really soft, they like them really crispy. So I'll probably do a little bit of both. And while we're waiting for our oil to heat, I'm gonna bring out all of our fixins. I'm so excited that you guys tuned in. Make sure you like and subscribe. So we've got some finely shredded lettuce, we've got some salsa, we've got some sour cream, guacamole, and we've got some shredded mild cheddar cheese. These are gonna be all of our toppings. Now, one of the things that always bothers me when I go out to eat or if I eat at a friend's house is whether or not they can serve everything at the same temperature. I absolutely hate having things served hot and cold. So we're gonna make sure that everything kind of comes out at the same time. So we're going to heat our oil. And it doesn't take much to fry the tortillas. I'm only going to use a few because it's just me, and even though I'm going to eat probably 7 tacos, no, I'm kidding. I'll probably have some friends over really to help me polish these off. And again, once they see this video, they're probably going to be heading over anyway. But I'm just going to make a few tacos. So typically with a pound of ground beef or ground turkey, you can make about 12 tacos. Some people like more meat. I like more lettuce and fixins than anything. So I could probably get a few more servings out of that, but we're going to make, okay, now that our oil is nice and hot, we're just gonna slide a little tortilla in there. And I usually just let it fry for just a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I'll switch burners so that you can see. But just kind of tilt them. So you let them slide in, then you tilt them, and then pull them right out. So I think I will switch burners so you can see, because I think these are, so we'll turn this one down, and we'll turn this one up. All right, so we're just sliding the tortilla right into the oil. And then I usually flip it really quickly to the other side so it can both sides can get exposed to the oil. And then I just kind of flip one end up and just kind of let one side get a little crispier than the other. And then you just kind of flip it to the other side so the other side can get a little crispy. And then you can just pop it right on out to drain on your paper towel. Now, if you want just a real quick one, if you don't want it too hard, you just want to really soft fry it, you just let it sizzle for a couple seconds once you pop it in. Flip it really quickly, and then take it right on out, and you'll have a nice, softly fried tortilla. Now the next one we do will make it just a little bit crispier. So you're gonna pop it into the oil. This one will let it kind of fry just a little bit until you see the edges kind of bubble in the oil, and the tortilla will kind of bubble a little too. And then you just flip it really quickly, and then you do your fold about halfway through your tortilla, and then you can hold it so that it gets a little crispy. This one will do it a little bit longer, and you can see the shell harden. You don't want to burn it, so we're keeping our oil pretty medium, not too high. And as it gets to the desired crispiness, you'll see it'll start turning brown. We want it nice and golden brown. We don't want it burnt, not dark brown, not black. But we're going to do it evenly on both sides. Yeah, this one's going to be nice and crispy. And then we're just going to kind of let it rest on our spatula, and then take it to our paper towel. And like I said, you can do that for 12 people if you're going to serve 1 pound of ground turkey or ground beef. Now I like mine kind of somewhere in between. Sometimes I don't like them too soft because they fall apart, and if you like to really load your tacos up, you'll probably want a crisper shell. And I think this makes a difference. Now you can of course buy the pre-bought or pre-made tortilla shells that you can find for the same kind of way you get at Taco Bell, but I love tacos with these types of shells. They just make a difference. It makes it seem more homemade. And this is going to be really good. And we're just going to pop this right on out to our paper towel so it can drain. Let's do one more. Got one more to do. And while we're doing that, our meat is simmering in those wonderful juices. It's going to be nice and flavorful. And again, you can use the taco seasoning of your preference, but I have found that I love Lawry's. And then of course, if you choose to make the taco seasoning from scratch, you can use a base of chili powder, cumin, Mexican oregano, garlic salt, or garlic powder, onion powder, and then seasoning salt and pepper to your taste. If you like things spicy like I do, in fact, I made my salsa very spicy. I guess I can't have people over because they're not going to be able to handle the heat. But I made my salsa very spicy, but you can also add red pepper flakes, which is, just makes everything better. So you want to cook your meat until there's just a little bit of juice in there, but you don't want too much juice. So you want to cook it down until it's nice and flavorful, but not too watery. You get ready to plate. We've let our meat cook down until all the juices have kind of gotten absorbed and all the flavor. So now your meat is it's got all of the flavoring in there. And our taco shells are now cool enough to handle. You don't want to handle them when they're too hot, otherwise you're going to have some problems. So I'm going to take probably 1 crispy shell, 1 super soft shell, and 1 regular shell. Now I typically put about a scoop of taco meat or ground beef in when I'm making food for other people. I probably use a little less for myself, but we're going to make these nice and full and pretty just for the purposes of this particular show. And usually if some of my guy friends are coming over for tacos, definitely load it down with lots and lots of meat. But because I like more lettuce than anything, remember we've got our finely shredded lettuce, we've got some salsa, some guacamole, some shredded cheddar cheese, and some sour cream. So in order to like enhance the flavorfulness, I like to actually put a scoop of the guacamole right next to the meat. So I just kind of spoon it right into the inside part of the taco so that you get a bite of guacamole and you get a taste of the guacamole in every bite. So we've got that. And then I like to layer with lots of lettuce. Now, of course, everybody has their own configuration of tacos. I have some people who don't like lettuce at all. They don't like tomatoes. They want anything. All they want is meat and cheese. And to them, I usually turn up my nose, but I still make tacos for them. But I like lots of lettuce. So we're going to put our layer of lettuce. Then we're going to put our layer of cheese. And everyone's generous with the cheese. One of the things I absolutely love / hate about Taco Bell, I love that they're easy, but they used to kill me because they used to put tons of lettuce and like no cheese. But everybody knows we like lots of cheese. And then we're going to garnish with our salsa. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I love salsa, so I'm gonna load my tacos with salsa. Big heaping spoonfuls of salsa for me, and then just a little dollop of sour cream, just because I think it's pretty. And usually if you come over, this is how I serve them to you. Now sometimes I let people serve themselves and they do what they like, and then they're like, mine didn't come out like yours. There is a method to my madness. Now, if you like to garnish it with just a little extra, you can do a little bit more tomato on top, a little bit more cilantro on top, just makes them real pretty. A little bit of green onion on top, just to make them a little more pretty and a little festive, especially because it is Cinco de Mayo. So we have our tacos. There you go. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Ring the Dinner Bell. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let me know if you're gonna make tacos tonight. Happy Cinco de Mayo.